Brothers, one of the most important, impactful verses in my life that comes rushing into my mind and heart when things are difficult is Isaiah 43:2. Listen to me as I share with you what God promised His people in the Old Testament, and I quote, "When you pass through the waters, I'll be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. And when you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you." Brothers and sisters, what you just heard, and when you just heard this, wherever you are, what stood out to you? Maybe it stood out to you that God is a miracle working God, and boy, He is. You see, we serve a God who has one of His identifying names as our great physician. I thank God for the many miracles in my life so many times, and small things like with a cold and big things like injuries that God has been there for His people. But there's another identifying name that stands out to me today in the midst of where we are in the world. He is, now listen to this, He is the God who walks with us through the difficulties of life. You see, God promises people that when they pass through the waters and the rivers, they will not be overwhelmed. Why? Because the storms are no match for God. So I want to tell you this, your storms that you're in will not be for your demise. God will deliver you. God also promises people in that verse that when they walk through the fires of life, they will not be burned, nor will the flames consume them. This means that the trials of your life and my life will not deaden our faith, and they will not consume our lives. So let's think for a moment, brothers and sisters. Look at how far the Lord has brought you. It was pastor and author Robbie Galty who recently said in a message, he said it this way, "Our pain markers are actually our growth markers." When I look back at my life, I realize without the waters and the rivers of life, I would not have had growth markers in my life. You see, Jesus walks with you through the difficulties. He never leaves you in the water to go down. He gets in the water with you and teaches you how to swim and empowers you to live in the deep end of life. Finally and lastly, when I look back at my life and when I see the life of others who have walked with God, I realize without the fires, the flames, the floods, and the tornadoes of life, I would have never gotten rid of bad habits. I would have never sought in a godly life. And friend, I wouldn't be where I am. So here's the question for you. Are you in a time when your pain marker is really hurting you? If so, get in the boat with Jesus where He is today and ride with Him. Or if you're already there with Him, stay in the boat because God's going to grow you in ways beyond your deepest imagination. Once again today, I want to invite you to come and join us this month in our series, God's Voice Above the Mess, because I'm telling you, God is doing great things and He wants to do them in your life. Join me at either 9:15 or at 11 o'clock. Check us out online, all of our ministers at jacksonfbc.com. And until next time, may God richly bless your life.